Assalamu alaikum. Have you ever felt like your eyes are open, but you're not really seeing anything? As if there's another eye inside you. And if that opens, you'll see the truth, recognize falsehood for what it is, and gain a sense of awareness of the unseen world. In today's video, we're going to explore the hidden but forbidden path through which inner vision awakens, and why Islam warns us that if this path isn't pure, we might fall into the traps of shaitan. Stay till the end, there's a shocking twist you didn't expect. Part 1. What does Islam say about inner vision, or basira? The Quran says, "Indeed, in that are signs for those of insight." Surah An-Nur 24:44. In Islam, basira is not just a spiritual concept, it's a vital tool for navigating life with clarity. It refers to the inner vision, or the eye of the heart. While our physical eyes see the material world, basira allows us to see the truth beneath the surface. It is through this inner eye that a believer distinguishes between right and wrong, truth and deception, light and darkness. Basira sharpens our ability to recognize Allah's signs in the world around us, whether in nature, in events, or in people. It helps us detect the subtle whispers of shaitan, identify sins even when they're disguised as something normal, and grasp the deeper wisdom behind trials and blessings. It gives us a sense that some actions or paths just don't feel right, a divine alert from within, steering us toward what pleases Allah. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Beware of the insight of the believer, for he sees with the light of Allah." Tirmidhi. This nur, or light, is granted by Allah to sincere believers, those who purify their hearts, strive for righteousness, and remain connected to divine guidance. With this light, they see beyond appearances. They're not easily fooled by flashy distractions, worldly success, or sweet words hiding harmful intentions. Instead, they live with a quiet, inner certainty, rooted in tawakkul, dhikr, and reflection. But basira doesn't come automatically. It grows with taqwa, through repentance, through reading Quran with reflection, and through spending time in silence and prayer. It requires guarding the eyes, the ears, and the heart from spiritual pollution. When the heart is clean, basira shines like a lamp in the darkness. So while modern life often praises sharp eyesight and fast thinking, Islam reminds us that true success lies in having basira, to see what others miss, to recognize truth, even when it's unpopular, and to walk the path of light when the world is covered in shadows. Part 2. How do people lose this inner eye? The Quran says, "Nay, rather what they used to earn has rusted upon their hearts." Surah Al-Mutaffifin 83:14. Basira, the inner eye, is a precious gift, but it can be lost. Just as dust dims a mirror and clouds blur vision, sins cloud the heart. When we repeatedly disobey Allah, we begin to lose that sharp inner clarity. The fitra, our natural state of purity, becomes coated with darkness, and what once felt wrong begins to feel normal. This spiritual blindness doesn't happen overnight. It starts small. Watching haram, be it indecent content or shows that normalize sin, pollutes the heart. Listening to haram, music with vulgar lyrics or gossip, feeds the soul with toxins. Lying, even casually, chips away at integrity. Showing off, Ruqyah, makes the heart seek the gaze of people instead of Allah. Every sin leaves a black dot on the heart. If we don't seek forgiveness, those dots grow until the heart becomes covered and the light of basira fades. We no longer feel the weight of sin. We justify, compare, or ignore. That divine discomfort we once felt when slipping into haram, it vanishes. That clear sense of right and wrong, it gets blurry. The Prophet said, "When a servant commits a sin, a black dot appears on his heart. If he repents, the heart is cleansed. But if he repeats it, the dot grows until the heart is completely darkened." Ibn Majah. When the heart becomes rusted, it no longer reflects divine light. Even reminders from the Quran or advice from loved ones feel heavy or irritating. The believer starts confusing desires with guidance and emotions with truth. But the beauty of Islam is that no heart is too dark to be revived. The key is tawbah, sincere repentance. By turning to Allah, cutting off sins, and replacing darkness with light, Quran, dhikr, salah, the rust begins to clear. The heart softens, and the eye of Basira opens once more. Losing this inner eye is a tragedy, but regaining it is always possible for the one who truly wants to see. Part 3. The forbidden technique. People use the wrong way. In their hunger for power, influence, or secret knowledge, many people seek shortcuts. They want to read minds, control outcomes, know the unseen, or connect with spiritual forces beyond this world. But instead of turning to Allah, the source of all knowledge, they fall into dangerous territory. To achieve this, some turn to amulets, charms, and talismans. Thinking these objects hold power, non-Islamic spiritual practices masked as healing or energy work, distorted Sufi rituals that have no basis in the Sunnah, calling upon Jinn, spirits, or dead saints for help, istighatha. Occult practices designed to open the third eye or tap into the unseen. These techniques are often promoted as ways to gain basira or higher consciousness. But in truth, they are nothing more than deceptions from shaitan. Instead of unlocking truth, they open doors to illusion, delusion, and sometimes full-blown possession. The Quran warns us, he, shaitan, commands you only to evil and immorality, and to say about Allah what you do not know. Surah Al-Baqarah 2169. What starts as a harmless curiosity often ends in spiritual destruction. People who chase visions or voices without the protection of Quran and Sunnah may indeed see things, but they are not from Allah. The Jinn may feed them half-truths or visions to build their trust, only to mislead them further. The Prophet clearly warned, whoever goes to a fortune teller and believes in what they say, their prayers will not be accepted for 40 days. Sahih Muslim. Islam does not allow shortcuts to knowledge of the unseen. Basira is a light gifted by Allah to sincere believers, not something forced open through rituals or occult techniques. The third eye of mysticism is not the same as the inner eye of the believer. One seeks power, the other seeks guidance. If we want true insight, we must purify our hearts, not bypass them. Any path that takes us away from the Quran and Sunnah is not enlightenment. It's misguidance in disguise. Part 4. How to awaken inner vision in an Islamic way. Basira, true inner vision, is not a mystical power or a hidden force. It is a gift from Allah to those who sincerely seek Him. It comes not through shortcuts or spiritual tricks, but through disciplined faith, deep reflection, and inner purification. Islam gives us a clear path to awaken this spiritual clarity. 1. Sincere tawbah and inner purification. Every sin places a veil over the heart. Repentance, tawbah, is the first step to cleansing it. A heart stained by sin cannot reflect divine light. O you who believe, turn to Allah in sincere repentance. Surah At-Tahrim 66:8. When we cry before Allah, admit our flaws, and strive to change, the rust begins to lift and clarity returns. 2. Deep reflection on the Quran. Tadabbur. The Quran is not just to be read, but deeply reflected upon. It is the light that revives the soul and corrects our vision. This is a book we have revealed to you, full of blessings, so they may reflect upon its verses. Surah Sa'd 38:29. Through tadabbur, verses begin to speak to us. The more we reflect, the clearer life becomes. 3. Tahajjud, the night prayer. The silence of the night is when the soul is most alive. In those moments of solitude and sincerity, Allah opens the heart. In the last third of the night, Allah descends to the lowest heaven and says, "Who is calling upon me?" Bukhari. Tahajjud is when veils are lifted and hearts are softened. The tears we shed in sajda purify the inner eye. 4. Purification of the self, through reflection and self-accountability. Muraqaba, being aware Allah sees us, and muhasaba, evaluating ourselves, are tools of self-growth. Those who constantly reflect, correct, and redirect themselves walk the path of light. It's not perfection Allah wants, but sincere effort. 5. Dua and istikhara, asking Allah for light in the heart. Nothing opens the heart like humble supplication. Ask Allah to grant you nur, to guide you, and to make your heart a vessel of truth. Allahumma ajal fi qalbi nuran. O Allah, place light in my heart. True, basira is born when the heart is clean, the soul is humble, and the believer walks in step with revelation. The final twist. Did you know? If you awaken your inner vision the right way, everything changes. Basira isn't just a spiritual bonus, it's a life-altering shift in perception. Once this divine eye opens, you no longer see the world through the lens of emotions or opinions. You see with light. And with that light comes clarity. You begin to see who is truly your friend and who's gently pulling you toward destruction, which path genuinely brings you closer to Allah, and which one only looks religious on the surface, which relationships are nourishing your soul, and which ones are silently draining your iman, when shaitan uses praise, flattery, and ease, not to uplift you, but to feed your ego and weaken your guard. This is not some mystical ability. It's the result of sincerity, repentance, reflection, and closeness to Allah. And here's the twist. Once this eye opens, you can never live the same way again. You won't be able to sin in peace anymore. What once felt exciting will now feel heavy. The heart will protest. You won't be able to keep fake friendships or relationships that carry no barakah. You'll feel the disconnection instantly. You'll start to see. And even if you try to deny it, you'll know. The truth becomes loud, even in silence. This clarity is both a gift and a responsibility. Allah shows you what others miss, not to make you arrogant, but to pull you closer to Him. It's a protection from being fooled, a compass in times of confusion, and a warning light when something feels off. But it comes with a cost. You can no longer live in heedlessness. The path gets lonelier. The distractions lose their taste. But the peace, the yaqeen, certainty, and the nearness to Allah, it becomes everything. And that's when you realize, seeing clearly was never about power. It was about truth. And truth, once seen, can never be unseen. This is the twist. Inner vision doesn't make life easier. It makes you more accountable. Are you ready? Final message. Allah wants you to be among those who see with insight, those who walk in a world of confusion with hearts full of light. But that gift doesn't come through shortcuts or forbidden paths. It comes only through halal means, taqwa, and a sincere, humble heart. O Allah, awaken our hearts so we may walk by your light. Comment below. I want to see the unseen with the light of Allah. Subscribe now so your soul never loses its way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.